Welcome back to the 128 KB podcast. We are back once again due to lack of popular demand to talk about all things gaming. And this week is especially exciting. Is now finally the time that it's the end of physical games. Now this is this resonates deeply with me.
And me,
and you. Because we are both massive advocates as game collectors for physical games.
Yes, we're both active playing collectors, I like to say.
Yeah, playing collectors. I know personally, my big thing is old PlayStation games. Some Mega Drive, Genesis as well, and some Nintendos just because Nintendo's cool, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Especially old Nintendo, it's just cool.
Yeah.
But with things like the Steam Deck coming out, there's been a shift in my mindset.
Yeah.
And I think just a shift in the general ethos of gaming.
Yes.
That perhaps digital is the best way to keep your old games. The preservation of video game history is
so
digital.
Convenient. I mean, that's the sad thing. Like, I'm exactly on the same boat as you.
Yeah.
We've talked about this over the years on different channels and stuff about our love of collecting.
Yeah.
And I still buy all my Switch games physically when possible. You know, so if there is a physical, I will buy that. I will wait. So like Metroid Prime Remastered, for example. I could have bought it digitally and I really wanted to, but I was like, no, I'm going to wait a month and buy the physical. You know, I always buy physical when I can. I've got not as large as you, but I've got a large physical, collection. But at the same time, I've kind of been straddling both lines because I've been like a cheeky PC gamer for so long.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've been a console gamer.
So you have a very sly, massive Steam library that kind of neglected to tell me about until the Steam Deck appeared.
Well, because I'd kind of stopped playing PC for a long time. I was playing, console games, and then, I've always been a handheld gamer. So with the Switch and everything, and I just kind of let the PC gaming fall by the wayside. I did, Christina and I would play MMOs, but that was like the odd game that we would spend months playing one game on, and then we haven't played PC in years, really.
So there was a clear inflection point, a moment that changed everything for me.
Yes.
And that was when you got the Steam Deck.
Yep.
And you being you and knowing me very well, you're like, you didn't show me the latest release.
No, that wasn't the first thing I showed you, was it?
No.
I showed you Half-Life 2.
You're like, hey, AJ, check out Half-Life 2. And I was like, oh my God, that looks amazing.
Yep.
I've never seen Half-Life 2 play that well. But the moment that changed everything is when back to the menu.
Yeah.
And you're like, start a new game. And it was like, start game, load game. And I looked at load games and it's like, what are all these save files? 2005 or something stupid.
Like 2008, I think it was. Something
2008.
like that. Yeah.
And like, no, that was my save files from
then.
From when I played the game. I was like, oh my God. So not only is it massively more convenient, does the game look and play better than it ever did, but also you've got the legacy of your gaming history just there, saved, ready to go.
Playing on a new piece of hardware.
To get the same experience for me, Half-Life 2, I have to play it on the PS3.
Yeah.
On the orange box.
Yeah.
Which is great. In fact, we played it together, didn't we?
Yeah, we played it on stream,
We streamed it, and that's cool. But the PS3 is a very aging piece of hardware. Obviously, the performance isn't great. It doesn't look particularly nice. But that fails.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the third or fourth PS3 I've had over the years, probably.
Yeah.
It will fail. The controllers will fail. The batteries in them will die.
Yep.
The disc will age.
Yes.
And I try to keep them as best as I can, but they will get damp. They will get corrosion on the label of disc.
Or
and
then they can just get scratched, can't they?
Yeah, I mean, you can fix scratches.
Yeah.
But if the label starts eroding, which they do over time, then it's unfixable. It's done.
Yeah, game over.
So I can do my best to preserve my physical collection, but at some point it will age. And when you look at cartridges, I look at like Mega Drive, you look at Game Boy games.
Yeah, with the batteries dying and stuff.
That's it.
Getting soldering iron out.
That's a real big issue.
Yeah.
Or just the contacts start corroding.
Yes.
What am I going to do then?
Yes, exactly, yeah.
And then so if you go back to even older console hardware, let's take the Mega Drive, for example. I've got some really great Mega Drive games that I love. playing those games is really hard now.
Yeah, totally.
The Mega Drive isn't very good. It's going to be really old. The hardware may fail, likely fail. The controllers probably will fail. It will fail to read because the terminal reader might not work right.
Yeah.
Or the cartridge itself fails.
Yeah.
So actually, have I been stupid all this time and spending what's probably thousands of pounds on collecting old games?
Yeah.
When the future feels like it's digital.
Digital, yeah. I mean, to be fair, when you're looking at the old titles, so stuff before the PS3, you know, especially when you get down to cartridge-based consoles, it's not like there's an alternative unless you get suspicious ROMs and start emulating.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, as opposed to like me on PC mid-2000s, having a Valve account, Steam account, and buying the game then, you know, we're probably looking at like the PS3 era, which I think PS3 had a digital shop, didn't it, at the time? Or I don't think it... Or was it PS4 that the eShop, you know, the store...
Really
I can't remember.
testing me that, because there was online features.
I've got a feeling that PS3 you could digital download, but it wasn't like a big thing.
No.
Because that was the same time as the Vita, and you could download on the Vita, but again, you'd opt to buy physical if you could.
The big thing with... And it's interesting we bring up the PS3. The PS3 was backwards compatible.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
All of them with PS1 and the first edition PS3
Only
with
the
PS1
first one.
and PS2.
Yes, yeah.
And since then, there's been no backwards compatibility with PlayStation, which is where my collection mainly sits.
Yeah.
That's a problem that Microsoft overcame. The new Xbox is backwards compatible.
Yeah, you can just put the old games in and then you can download the... It's still a download.
It's still a digital version.
But it's just reading the signature off the disc to say that you own it. Yeah.
Exactly that. So it's a one way around the preservation of games. But it feels like after seeing the vast amount of games that are on the Steam library that many, like you, PC players will have had from 15, almost 20 years ago.
I know.
That are all still available, and most of them will play pretty fine.
Well, and they still get updated. Half-Life still gets updated. You know, like it's
That's
crazy.
That's the thing, man.
Yeah, and they get updated. Like they're still playable on modern systems. It doesn't go, your PC isn't from 2007.
Yeah,
it goes, sweet. We just sent a patch through. It works.
I guess the argument against is not all games are always going to be available. So Nintendo are doing an okay job at the Switch Online.
Yeah.
Expansion pack. And you're seeing some older games.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But it's actually quite a small amount compared to the amount that were released. You see it with PlayStation when they had PlayStation Now and now PlayStation Plus, whatever they call it now. There was some, and there is some older games, but not all of them. And there's some really big admissions, and that's probably licensing issues or it's attached to a movie.
Yeah,
like, look, GoldenEye was a big deal.
Yes.
So I guess the argument is against it that if you've got the physical game, you can play any game that was released.
Yes. Yeah.
But digital, that's not always the case.
Yeah. I mean, with the physical, providing you've still got the hardware and it's all tip top and everything's fine, you can just play it whenever, can you? And then that's great. And the other benefit is you can sell it. Yeah. So you could sell your collection now and make a load of money. You know, if you had digital only, you can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just yours. However, on the flip side, that's yours. Do you know what I mean? Like with me, I've always been physical. And then when I got the Steam Deck, I was like, you know what? If I buy a game now, in 20 years' time, I don't need to buy that game again.
Yeah.
I've still got it. And it's going to work, you know, and even if it doesn't work, there'll be a workaround that someone else has found to make it work, you know.
And it'll probably work better then than it does now.
Exactly. And like logging into my Steam library after so many years of not playing PC on my Steam Deck and going, wow, I've got games from like 20 years ago that I didn't even realize I had.
Yeah.
But that I no longer need to now though go and buy again or buy a specific piece of hardware for it to run and then eventually corrode or damage or whatever. I don't have to worry about that. I can install it at any point. Once I'm done, I can delete it, but I've still got it, you know.
Do you think there's a wider need for the big manufacturers to roll this out further than they already are? Do you think like there's actually a demand for it, or is it just weirdos like us?
I don't know. I think seeing that Xbox and PlayStation now have a digital-only console.
Yeah.
Which is, surprised me at the start. I'm glad there's still disc versions because I still prefer to buy physically.
Yeah.
But because it's digital only, I think many people will be going to that, because one thing that really annoys me about the PS5, like you put the disc in, you install it, and then the disc is spinning up all the time.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
It's like, oh, just shut up. Like, I've got the game.
Yeah.
You've just practically downloaded it off the disc.
Yes.
So, yeah, okay, I understand you're going to need to check that I've got it, but you've seen me install it from a disc. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe once a month or something, if I'm playing it, check. But you don't need to be spinning around every 5 minutes going,
and it's loud.
And it's really like, loud, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? Whereas those that have got digital don't have that problem.
The argument against digital with new games.
Oh, yeah.
There's quite a few.
Yes.
The biggest one, and it's hot water, particularly that Sony got into recently with the PlayStation Store, was overcharging. Because they've got a monopoly.
Yes, and that's the thing with physical, and partly one of the reasons why I always buy physical, especially covering games on the channel and stuff.
Yeah.
I always look for the best discount I can. And sometimes I will wait 6 months before I buy a game that I've liked the look of before, and I'll get it really discounted, even though it's physical, and really it should cost more because there's overheads of people making this stuff.
Yes.
Rather than just getting pushed out on the internet, which you're paying for anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I can buy it physically for less, which is going to hold its value, and I can resell it, but the digital's full price. Nintendo are suckers at this. They never reduce their AAAs, from themselves, unless it's like 20% or something like that on their store at Christmas,
So in a lot of cases, even at launch, the digital version is more expensive, especially from PlayStation. This was the problem they got into recently. There was like I think the European court were actually going to take them to court for it.
Right.
Like a monopolies problem. But yeah, quite often at release, the digital version is more expensive.
Yeah, than you can find
the physical version, which doesn't make any sense.
It should be the opposite. It should be like 10-15% less.
They've not had to ship it, they've not had to case it, they've not had to print it.
Exactly.
All of those things.
Same with Nintendo, though. They do
exactly.
Too. And I'd argue that Nintendo costs more to produce the cartridges than it does to press a disc.
Yeah.
Because it's a physical little chip in there with some solid state, storage on it, rather than just a disc, which is a bit of plastic.
So that's the argument against it on new releases. And I think, in truth, I'm not talking about new games with this.
Yeah.
It's more that the playing collectors, the preservation of video games, that, yes, it's a smaller amount than the people that are just going to casually go out and buy FIFA or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think us people that are properly into video games, that represents most of us.
Yeah.
I'm now starting to feel truly like my physical collection is a bit meaningless. And the big thing was, I didn't and don't collect games to keep their value. It's never about that for me. I don't even think about it.
Me too.
I buy them because I love them.
I buy it because it's the game I want.
Yeah. Or I just I like looking and holding them, and that's cool.
Or the artwork's sick or something,
Yes.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I want to play them.
Yes. Yeah.
After seeing how easy it was on the Steam Deck, and how easy the limited amount that have come out with Nintendo and Sony on the PlayStation, how easy they are and how well they operate, that has really started to shift my opinion on as a playing collector, am I just wasting my time?
Yeah, I get you. I mean, it's a little bit different in the way that on the Steam Deck, it's PC, and PC hasn't had physical games in many years, like 2000s.
Yeah.
Right? I've still got tens of
massive
discs.
cardboard boxes.
Yeah. I've got tens of discs for the PC, which are completely and utterly redundant, and they wouldn't even work if you tried to install from them anyway.
Yeah.
But I've still got some of the last physicals on PC, right? So now everything's digital on PC, absolutely everything, which drives the price down.
Yeah.
And everything's cheaper on the PC, even modern games. You can find them at different retailers, like legit ones.
That's a huge thing.
That are much cheaper. And so then that weighs up of, okay, just like with Resident Evil 4 Remake, I was like, I really want it on PlayStation, because I want to play it on my PS5 with the DualSense, but I really want the physical. 70 quid or whatever it was. It was like full price, yeah. I was like, or I can buy it on PC and get it much cheaper, and then it's linked to my Valve account, which in 20 years' time, I can load it up and still play it.
If you don't mind me asking, how much do you remember how much you paid for the remake?
For the remake, I can literally look.
I would be reckoning that it's a significant saving.
Yes,
that you made.
Yeah, I bought it for. You're gonna have to bear with me 2 seconds.
That's fine, but that's the other big point with the Steam library, is that and PC games in general, is that you can get them from more than one retailer.
Yeah,
even that you get the key or the digital download from somewhere else that isn't the PlayStation Store.
Yeah. So
what did you give for it?
Well, the PS5 version, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know what the full price retail was, but this one place says £55.
Okay.
Right? That's for the PS5 version. I bought the deluxe edition for £42 pre-order. For the deluxe edition, not the base level.
And the physical equivalent at the time was 70.
Well, it would have been about 60 quid.
60, 70 quid.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a huge saving.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's linked to my Steam account now. So in 20 years' time, I could download it again and be good. I don't need to worry about, oh, where's the disc? Oh, I've lost it, or it's broken, or I don't have that console anymore. Oh, it's not backwards compatible, this PS9 that I've got.
Yeah.
You know, I can just load up a PC. It is different, obviously, because it's PC. But even with like PS4 games you've bought, you can still download them on your PS5 and play them.
Yeah.
And the same with the Xbox stuff. If you've bought it before, you can just download it.
Yeah.
And I do think we're going to see, I think digital is the way that it will go.
It's just so much more convenient.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you can sit at home. You don't need to I've got to go to town, get in my car, drive there, waste more money.
Yeah.
To then pay over the odds for some bricks and mortar shop. Do you know what I mean? Like all that excess, you can sit there and go, credit card, download, done.
I guess the other argument against it is, and I'm sure you've done this, and I'm sure people listening and watching this have done the same. When you go to a store to buy a physical game, maybe you're just going in the store, you haven't got a game in mind, you've just gone in there just to have a look.
Yeah.
And you will find things that you would never normally find and go,
whether it's discounted or something.
Yeah. The biggest one of this that really sticks in my mind was a game I'd never heard of. And then when I brought it into the studio, you were like, oh my God, how did you get that? Axiom Verge.
Yes.
On the PS4.
Yeah.
I bought it in Game Store local to me for £5, I think it was.
Stupid.
Just sat there on a shelf.
And I was like, why did you get me one?
Yeah. I was like, they had this, it was £5. I liked the artwork. I was like, that looks quite cool. Said on the back, it's like a Metroidvania. I was like, oh, I like Metroidvanias. That'll be fun. Yeah. Never heard of it. Yeah. And you were like, it's like the best game that's not Metroid that is Metroid.
Yeah, it's so good. Thomas Happ or whoever.
It was Thomas Happ, Epic. I would have never found that if it wasn't for a game store.
Yeah, and that totally is right. If game stores die out, then it's sad because I like just going through, and that's the thing is I'm saying I'm like this big digital collector. I'm not. No. I'm not at all.
But it's the parallel is exactly the same as music.
Yes,
it's like exactly the same. Yeah. It's just a little bit further behind.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
and you get these boutique little record stores and stuff that pop up that will sell old music. Mm-hmm. But the day of going into, I was going to say really old music shop, then it'll show my age. I was going to say our price.
Oh, yeah.
The day of going into like HMV and browsing through CDs is long gone.
Yeah.
But you can download your favourite album and you've got it forever on your whatever account.
Yeah, it's so true. And that's the thing is I probably find less music now.
You definitely find less music.
Because I used to have like a budget for CDs when I was a kid.
Yep.
And I'd walk into my music shop and I'd spend like 2 hours looking for everything. And I would just grab something out of the genre that I wanted.
Have a look at artwork.
I thought artwork looks cool.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good. Good price, whatever. Yeah, all right, I'll have that. And then it would be like, this is amazing. Or, oh, this sucked. But I'd always be finding new music. Now I've got unlimited every music you could ever want.
Or there was the other thing that happens with music and with games, especially when you're younger, is loaning them to each other.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you discover something? Mate, I got this game. I really just completed it. That's how I discovered Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
My friend played it. He didn't like it.
Right.
Gave
it to you.
And
so
he
didn't like you.
No, he didn't like me very much. He's
Have
like,
this, it sucks.
We used to swap games all the time.
Yeah,
He's like, you should give this a go. You might like it. I found it too boring.
Yeah.
And I was just obsessed from the start.
Nice.
So that disappears. All those like quaint, old-fashioned things go. But from a pure convenience point of view, digital is definitely the way to go for collecting games.
Yes. Yeah.
Sadly. And it hurts.
Yeah, it's so convenient. It really is. And again, like the Steam Deck, I've got like 1.5 terabytes of space on there now.
Yeah.
So I can just download pretty much whatever I want.
And I said it on a previous episode when we were talking about the PlayStation Portable new version that's coming out, the Q-Lite, they're called, the code name for it, that if there's the ability to play from a PlayStation store, the old PlayStation games, I'll probably just sell my PlayStation collection because I just don't see the need for...
Yeah, if you can have it all at your fingertips in one easy, convenient way, why would you? And
what's the point?
And that's my like biggest thing for the Steam Deck is that I can just play all these games wherever.
Yeah.
And they're going to run.
Yeah.
And they're ancient.
Yeah.
But they work, you know. Loading up Psychonauts from like early 2000s.
What's the other game? Your Fable.
Fable, yeah.
You're like, Christ, okay. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it was amazing. And that's what blows my mind with the Steam Deck, more than it playing AAA games, which it can do. You know, we've just seen the Resident Evil 4 remake. You know, we did a whole episode on it.
Do you know if on the Xbox, obviously if you put in a Xbox One, if you put in like an original Xbox disc into it, it'll download that game for you.
Yeah.
Can you just go onto an online store and just download the game without? Can you just buy that game?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I'm not too sure.
If you're an Xbox owner, you have to let us know, because if that's the case, then Sony just absolutely have to do that.
Yeah. They won't. It'd be amazing if they did.
They have to do it with as many of the titles as possible, and Nintendo have to put more.
Yeah. But I want to see if it does go like digital only in the future. We have to see prices come down. We have to, because it's just stupid charging the same amount as a physical. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't make any sense. They're not having to pay the store either. That's another thing we're not thinking about.
Yeah. Well, game shops would just instantly die.
Yeah.
All of them around the globe would just end. Yeah. Other than like little independent retro shops. Hadn't thought of that. Yeah, which is weird, isn't it? Just a bit of a weird thought. Never put that thought like to myself before about the future of that. I don't know if they would let the stores die. Obviously, you'd be able to sell like the console accessories. And now, to be fair, here in England at least, you know, we're seeing game shops starting to sell merch and stuff, which they would never do before.
Yeah,
it was games only. That's it.
Yeah,
it's like
it's all about the accessories.
Get
and the
your
merch.
teddy, get your t-shirt, you know, whatever. Get your little figure.
It's more about. And that's kind of what like the music shops that still exist became, like HMV in the UK.
Yeah. Just became all sorts.
All sorts. Posters, collectables.
Help us stay open.
Yeah.
Stop us from going over, going under.
Basically pointless. They're hoping that games like Fortnite still exist so they can sell.
Yeah, one of my favourite reviews ever of an online shop was more crap for the landfill. And that's what they're all becoming.
Yeah, know? More plastic for the landfill. Yeah, that's brilliant.
But yeah, I mean, it's weird because I'm on the fence. Do you know what I mean? I love my physicals. I love seeing them on the shelves.
Yeah.
I love being able to pick it out and go,
look, it's GoldenEye.
And being able to show you that and us loading up the retro hardware and like playing it. You know, I love having that. And even with the Switch, I love having my cases and going, sweet, take it out. It's the experience of it. You know, unwrapping it or whatever. Much to many of yours discussed on the channel.
Samus Returns.
Me unwrapping old games. But whatever. And I love that. But then there is that aspect of I just love the convenience of the Steam Deck having one account that I've had the same details for nearly 20 years.
Yeah.
And everything I've ever bought on there is just there. And I could just download it.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because I know that there's going to be a lot of people that totally disagree with that.
Oh, totally, yeah.
And that's cool. It's not to try and trigger you. It is a little bit. No, it's not to try and trigger you. It kind of hurts me to say it because I'm such an avid collector.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I just feel like maybe that's over now.
But I hadn't even noticed it myself until you told me.
Yeah.
Like I just was chilling, like, you know, playing Steam Deck or whatever, showing you this and the other, and you were like, did you just buy Resident Evil 4 Remake on Steam Deck? I'm like, yeah, I want to play it on Steam Deck because it's the handheld version, you know? I was like,
Yeah.
that's how I want to play it. It's like, so you didn't buy the physical on PlayStation? I went, no, I didn't. I was like, I probably won't either because I can just hook my PC, which is more powerful than my PlayStation, up to my telly and play it off that, you know? And it's like, wow, that then made me think, like, okay, I'm kind of really on the fence here.
Yeah, and in the age of, as we'll probably talk about at some point in the future, the age of the handheld consoles here, it's actually not the handheld console, it's the hybrid console.
Yeah.
Just put your Steam Deck through your telly.
Yes.
Yeah. And it works amazing.
Yeah.
It'll look great. Just play your Switch through your telly.
Exactly, yeah.
Just put your PlayStation... Oh,
well.
But they will do.
Hopefully.
I think it's just going to be digital only from now on.
Yeah, I reckon it could be a thing, but
also collecting games. I just think if they embrace it, there's a market there, and
but I think there's so many people that enjoy physicals like us. Do you know what I mean?
No,
like
I get
there's still so many people. I don't know if it will happen immediately.
The place for it now is for the people that like collecting for collecting's sake.
Yes, yeah.
The same reason why they'd buy Amiibos or different merch that comes out.
Yeah.
It's cool. And I think I will get rid of stuff, but I'll keep the ones that are like precious to me to collect.
Yeah.
I'll keep that version of GoldenEye on the N64 because I love it.
Yes.
I'll probably keep a controller. Maybe I'll keep the consoles.
Yeah.
Just because they're like nice to look at.
Yeah.
But having like a vast library because I want to play them.
Yeah.
That's pointless.
Yeah. And again, it's having them all in one area, which is the convenience, isn't it?
Yeah.
If they did release this PlayStation thing, which is totally hypothetical, you know, watch our other podcast about it.
Yeah.
But we're basically saying instead of it being a remote play thing, if they made like the PS Vita 2 and made it backwards compatible with all your PS4 and stuff online, being able to just go onto one system and have effectively what I've got on the Steam Deck, but for your PlayStation, that would be insane.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't beat that.
No, that's it done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess that about wraps it up.
Yeah. So let us know what your thoughts are about digital versus physical. Do you absolutely hate digital? And, you know, I mean, for me, I hate cloud gaming. Like
that's a different topic altogether. Yeah, no.
We won't get into that now.
No.
But I don't like cloud gaming. So yeah, screw that. But digital, you know, let us know if you like digital or physical and what your opinions are there.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this on Spotify or wherever you take podcasts, make sure you rate us. It does help us massively.
Yes.
If you're on YouTube, you know what to do. Buttons are below. Thanks for watching. And before we go, make sure you click on this video here where we're going to talk about other stuff.
Yeah.
And
another one where some of us are talking about something.
Yeah, and other good reasons to click on things. So until the next time, we'll see you next time.
Bye.